Welcome to all. This is our second video of lesson number 1, reproduction in lower and higher plants. In previous video we have learned asexual reproduction. Now in this video we will learn sexual reproduction, microsporogenesis, structure of anatropous ovule and megasporogenesis. Now in sexual reproduction, male gamete and female gamete fuses together to form a zygote. This zygote will form embryo. The formation of this embryo is called as embryogenesis. In a flower, there are different types of whorls. Mainly 4 different whorls are there. That is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. In this, androecium and gynoecium are reproductive whorls. Now in a typical structure of flower, you will find 4 whorls, namely calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. This androecium consists of 2 parts, that is filament and the anther, whereas the gynoecium consists of stigma, style and ovary. Inside to this ovary there are many ovules. Now let us take androecium first, which is a male reproductive whorl. The individual member of androecium is called as stamen. The stamen shows anther, the connective and filament. If we take transverse section of this anther, you will find 4 pollen sacs. In these pollen sacs, pollen grains are produced. So this is the structure or tiers of anther. In this tiers of anther, inside the pollen sacs, many pollen grains are produced. Now let us study tiers of anther. Before that, we will study types of anther. There are basically 2 types, monothecous anther and dithecous anther. This figure is of dithecous anther, which consists of 2 lobes and 4 pollen sacs. These are the 4 pollen sacs. The first one, the second one, the third one and the fourth one. Now coming to the parts of the parts in the tiers of anther. The first part is the outermost part, that is epidermis. Epidermis is the outer layer of the anther. So this is the epidermal layer of the anther. This epidermal layer is made up of parenchymatous cells. The second part is endothecium, or the second layer is endothecium layer, which is subepidermal layer made up of radially elongated cells. So here radially elongated cells are present. Inside to this endothecium, tapetum cells are present. So these are nothing but the tapetum cells. These tapetum cells provide nourishment to the innermost cells, that is sporogenous tissues. Inside to this tapetum, many sporogenous cells or tissues are present. These sporogenous tissues consist of microspore mother cells, that is MMC. These microspore mother cells helps to form pollen tetrad. The pollen tetrad will form pollen grains. And we know pollen grains are also called as microspores. Therefore, the process of formation of microspore is called as microsporogenesis. Now we will see microsporogenesis. Now what do you mean by microsporogenesis? Formation of pollen grains or formation of microspores is called as microsporogenesis. Now we will see steps of microsporogenesis. Now here sporogenous cells or sporogenous tissues are present inside the pollen sac. The sporogenous cell is diploid in nature. It is also called as microspore mother cell because it will form microspores or pollen grains. Now in this diploid sporogenous cell, meiosis occurs, and due to this meiosis, 4 pollen tetrad or pollen tetrad is formed, which is haploid in nature. The pollen tetrad gets separate and there is formation of 4 pollen grains, which is again haploid in nature. Now we will see structure of microspore. Now in this structure of microspore, that is structure of pollen grain, first of all, the pollen grain is non-motile, it is unicellular, it is uninucleated. See here, this is a uninucleated structure. It is haploid. Okay, so the pollen grain is surrounded by 2-layered wall, that is outer exine and the inner intine. The exine in this case is smooth, but here in this case the exine is rough. Exine is made up of complex and biodegradable substance called as sporopollenin. Inside to this exine there is an inner thinner layer that is called as intine. This intine is made up of cellulose and pectin. On the surface of the pollen grain there are germ pores. These germ pores helps to form pollen tube. Now we will see development of male gametophyte. The development of male gametophyte starts from the pollen grain. When the pollen grain is still in the pollen sac of the anther. Now look here, pollen grain is present in the pollen sac of the anther. Now what happens is, in this nucleus of the pollen grain nucleus divides to form 2 unequal cells. Now look here, in this diagram there are 2 unequal cells are produced. The one is the larger one, that is called as vegetative cell, and the other, the smaller, is called as generative cell. In this 2-celled stage, the pollen grain is released from the anther. So in this stage the pollen grain is released from the anther. This pollen grain in this 2-cell stage reaches to the stigma. On stigma it absorbs moisture and swells. Now the generative cell will divide and form 2 male gametes. Now look here, there are 2 male gametes. So the generative cell helps to produce 2 male gametes, whereas the vegetative cell forms pollen tube. So what do you mean by male gamete? Male gamete is nothing but pollen grain with pollen tube with 2 male gametes and tube nucleus is called as male gametophyte. Now we will see female reproductive whorl, that is gynoecium, also called as pistil. The individual member of gynoecium is called as carpel. Now the carpel or a typical carpel will show three parts, that is stigma, this is the stigma, the middle part the style, and the lower part is called as ovary. If the flower consists of many free carpels, now look here, the carpels are free, it is called as apocarpous flower. And if the flower consists of many fused carpels, now look here, these carpels are fused together, it is called as syncarpous flower. Now inside the ovary, this is ovary, so inside this ovary ovule is present, so this is the structure of a ovule. Now in some cases ovary contain only one ovule, that ovary is called as uniovulate ovary, whereas in some cases it contain many ovules, that ovary is called as multi-ovulate ovary. Now we will see structure of anatropous ovule. In angiosperm, anatropous ovule is the most common type of ovule. In this anatropous ovule, the micropyle is directed downward, as well as the micropyle is adjacent to this stalk or funicle. Opposite to this micropyle, towards this side or toward this end, chalaza is present. So micropylar end is at apex, whereas chalaza or chalazal end is at base. The ovule or the body of the ovule is attached to placenta, okay, of the ovary with the help of this funicle, or also called as funiculus. The body of the ovule and the funicle get attached at this place, somewhere here. This place of attachment is called as hilum. Now inside the ovule, parenchymatous cells are present, called as nucellus cells. Okay, these nucellus cells are surrounded by two integuments. These two integuments are called as outer integument and the inner integument. Inside to this nucellus, a oval structure is present. This oval structure is called as embryo sac. In this embryo sac, you will find a egg from this micropylar end, two synergids lateral to this egg. At center there is a central cell here, also called as secondary nucleus, and towards the chalazal end there is a presence of three antipodal cells. Now coming to the last part of this topic, that is megasporogenesis. Now what do you mean by megasporogenesis? Formation of female gametophyte, that is embryo sac, is called as megasporogenesis. Now we know anatropous ovule. Let us take, say this is the anatropous ovule, this is the micropylar end, and this is the chalazal end. We know nucellus cells. Now what happens is, one of the nucellus cells from the micropylar end, say this is the nucellus cell from the micropylar end, helps in formation of megaspore. So the megaspore is formed or produced from this nucellus cells or this nucellus cell. Okay, so this nucellus cell now called as megaspore mother cell, which is diploid. Now in this diploid cell, meiosis takes place, and due to this meiosis, 4 haploid megaspores are produced. Now the upper 3 megaspores from this 4 megaspore degenerates. Okay, and the lower megaspore from this micropylar end becomes the functional megaspore. Therefore, this functional megaspore is the first cell of the female gametophyte. So this is the first cell of the female gametophyte. Now what happens to this? This functional megaspore, this is the functional megaspore, it undergoes 3 successive free nuclear mitotic divisions. So in this functional megaspore, 3 successive free nuclear mitotic divisions occurs. Due to this mitotic divisions, 8 nuclei are formed. So due to this, 8 nuclei are formed. Okay, so in this case there is a first nuclei. Due to the first mitosis, 2 nuclei are produced. Due to the second mitosis, 4 nuclei are produced, and due to the third mitosis, 8 nuclei are produced. All these 8 nuclei formed are in, or 4 nuclei from the 8 are located at each pole. Means 4 nuclei at chalazal end and 4 nuclei from the micropylar end. Now what happens? One of the nucleus from each pole. So there were 4 nuclei at each pole. Okay. Now what happens is, one nucleus from the each pole migrates towards center. So this nucleus will migrate towards center, and this nucleus also migrate towards center to form polar nuclei. So as they migrate towards center, they will form polar nuclei. Therefore here it is written that 2 polar nuclei. Now the 3 nuclei from the micropylar end. Now these are the 3 nuclei from the micropylar end makes egg apparatus. So this is called as egg apparatus. Okay. This egg apparatus contain one large haploid egg. So at center here egg is present, and there are 2 haploid synergids. So this is one synergid and this is the second one. So there are 2 synergids. These 2 synergids show hair-like projection called as filiform apparatus, which guides the pollen tube towards the egg. Now at the chalazal end, so this is the chalazal end, 3 haploid antipodal cells are present. So these are the 3 haploid antipodal cells. At center, the 2 haploid polar nuclei. So these 2 polar nuclei, okay, fuses to form diploid secondary nucleus. So these two polar nuclei fuses to form diploid secondary nucleus, also called as definitive nucleus. Therefore, there is a formation of female gametophyte, also called as embryo sac. So how is the embryo sac now? Embryo sac is 7-celled and 8 nucleated structure. Which are the 7 cells? First one is the egg, 2 are the synergids, 1 is the diploid secondary nucleus or the definitive nucleus, and 3 are the Cyner antipodals. So in next video we will see pollination, types of pollination, types of pollinating agents, outbreeding devices, pollen pistil interaction. I hope you have understand this video. Thank you very much.